is just fantastic. Captain's Log, subdates 220207.2. I have docked with the Arcadia and I have unpacked my swag, while Dorkita reprograms the Envoy, who we've renamed Chicklets, to serve the ship as a new quantum warhead. Recycling, everyone. We love it. So the original plan for today was to make a video discussing the Hello Leash return and then subsequent departure from YouTube until she comes back again, as most of her content is behind a Patreon paywall and a Discord server where you are likely to be yeeted on a whim. I may have to save that, because the stream in question where she came back and then disappeared is 2 hours long. I have a copy of it, but it's 2 hours long. So instead I want to talk about Def Noodles, his upcoming LOL suit against Keemstar, many of which in his own audience support because bullying must be, slander must be, dealt with in a court of law so that the perp is held accountable. I have called it a LOL suit though because it is exactly that. So perhaps a bit of context. Let's start with the fact that Def Noodles has a hate boner for Keemstar, because Def Noodles is a T channel and Def Noodles has picked his vaunted pinata. As I mentioned in Content Constable T community, once they've chosen their vaunted pinata, they will swing at that pinata and use every insult known to man so as to get all the succulent, non-existent at this time of year AdSense out of them and clout, attention and blah 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 usual bollocks. Oh, and support from people that otherwise couldn't care less about their existence. In truth, what I find quite fascinating about it though is Def Noodles himself ditched the angry, cattier, annoying, loud-voiced character because he wanted to be more authentic. And what did everyone get in response for that? When he is not talking about Keemstar, he is actually able to simply sit there and talk to you. He'll have a few jokes, of course he will, because he's a comedian, and that's what they do. But otherwise, your eardrums thank him in the comments. When he gets to Keemstar though, he somehow reverts to the annoying cat-ear angry character, this time though loaded with more profanity than a chav on speed. And why is that? Because Keemstar has mocked him on the Twitters. But also Keemstar's channel is dying and Keemstar's bald. We're not petty here, we're a comedian. Let's also ignore the fact that Keemstar gets more views than you, but his channel's bigger, he's dying. Sure, I'll be honest, at this point with all the money Keemstar's made, does he really need to work? It's why he's not as, let's say, frequent on the uploads. He doesn't need it anymore. You, on the other hand, do exceptionally well on your views. Of course you do. You have a dedicated fan base and audience that like to watch your content. They'd like to listen to your opinions. Until now, when you're still talking about Keemstar, where even your own audience has decided to say, yo, can you do us a favor? If Keemstar's channel is dying, could you do us a solid then? Prove that his channel's dying by simply not talking about Keemstar. Also, why does his channel dying somehow mean he is worth or not worth something to you? Oh, that's right, he's your lolcow. I mean pinata. Vaunted pinata. So you need to keep him relevant, you need to keep goading, you need to keep baiting, because then you can keep on squeezing. At this point, there is a level of bad faith, intellectually stunted and truly pathetic, and I'm not sure who I'm going to point it out first. But I'm going to start with Def Noodles as this is dedicated to you. A rant in your honor. The comedian. You as a creator are very entertaining. There is no denying that. You have gotten this far by being entertaining. But there is nothing entertaining about somebody who is clearly showing signs of salt levels beyond comprehension because you want to blame someone for something that has already been proven to not be true. That has only escalated because you refuse to let go. For this to make sense, you would have to know about Def Noodles being yeeted off Twitter multiple times on multiple accounts. It was later proven not to be Keemstar who said he was going to talk to somebody at Twitter to try and get him reinstated, because even he agrees deplatforming is bad, but entirely because you breached TOS on multiple occasions. I believe the term fake news was applicable. Also the fact that you had spread false allegations, and then instead of addressing it properly, you simply attached to the end of a tweet thread connected to those false allegations a remark or a separate tweet. Gabby Hanna, I believe, or was it Eugenia Cooney? Not that it matters anymore. You spread false information, and you got hammered for it. Did you properly apologize for it? No. But of course, this is the fault of Keemstar, this is when you first started getting noticed by other creators who realized you were not putting in as much effort as you should have been doing for the content you are producing for the size of the channel you have. You are responsible for that. But apparently it is the fault of Keemstar because you said so, and because even though you can't prove it was him, it's all his fault. You use these tangible tweets that are later proven to be jokes as a way of taking literally and seriously, and in doing so make yourself look like an even bigger joke to the wider audience. And you can say, oh, but I have a bigger audience. So my bigger audience, believe me, but even your bigger audience are sick of you talking about Keemstar. Not that you care because you're busy pursuing a lol suit. If you really want to beat someone like Keemstar, you don't beat him by dragging him to a court of law. You don't beat him by continually doing videos on him. If you really think you can beat him, you beat him by ignoring him. Although why at this point we haven't had a boxing fight, a mud wrestling match, maybe a hot dog eating contest, I'm sure you're an expert at that, is a mystery to me. Perhaps we could have a standoff, a little comedy show in front of an audience of people who don't know who you are. So basically anyone who doesn't live on a computer. Let's set it up in the sticks and go from there. Or perhaps a care home if we're feeling really, really adventurous. You have threatened to take Keemstar to court because you believe he's also false flagging. He is slandering when he took something you've done in the past and memed it, which meant because you took it literally, he did it, and therefore it's slander, and therefore it is suable. Even though you do not have the resources, I'm sure GoFundMe will of course assist you. I hear they have some extra funds put aside. They could well give you a little lift up. Keemstar has responded to you multiple times in video form on Twitter. He doesn't really respond to you on YouTube. He puts on a show on YouTube. You drag him on YouTube because you have Instagram as well, but you got yeeted off Twitter. Now, of course, someone could say, but how is it that Keemstar hasn't been yeeted yet? I actually don't know at this point. Maybe it is those contacts he has. Maybe they're protecting him. Should I put a tinfoil hat on now? It's all conspiracy theory, and until you can prove something, it is an assertion and nothing more. He has proven in a video via youtube.com/report history that he has not reported anything of yours. He's proven it. The YouTube aspect anyway. Now, of course, he has other accounts. We all have other accounts. Many of us know about youtube.com/report history because of Monday Matt, who has made an absolutely blistering comeback on his podcast recently with Metica and Ethan Ralph. Not that that is in any way important. What is important is you are obsessed and you really do need to stop. I ask you kindly, as much fun as it is to watch your content when you're not talking about Keemstar. When you're talking about Keemstar, all I hear is wah 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 wah, and then angry profanities every other word. Words lose meaning if you can't articulate a thought. And then you cry victim, which is what you have done in a more recent video, because you can't handle it anymore when he is going back and forth with you and mocking you on Twitter. You're not even on Twitter. He's mocking you on Twitter because you're not there. Not that you would defend yourself there even if you could, because you'd just block him anyway, like you have all of us blocked. Many of us are blocked on your own channel, in fact, because you are so sensitive to the back and forth. Isn't it a tad ironic to take someone to court for mean words because you still can't take them anyway, even if you have them unblocked? At this point, you are becoming beyond parody. This is no longer satire, this is cringe. It is embarrassing, and you know better than to do this over and over again, yet you think yourself above it. It is the same reason that the vast majority of commentary channels look down on you, and yet most of them are smaller than you, because you believed yourself above the community, which is a sad state of affairs because they don't support you. They as creators do not support you. You'd be hard-pressed to find any creator supporting you that doesn't themselves live within a similar echo chamber to yourself. Take a wild guess what it looks like. There's about 4 to 5 people inside of it. 2 of them are Ethan Klein. This is all just advice from an observer, nothing more than that. It is why there is no effort made on the visual aspect, because I just want you to hear what I have to say. As an observer, and I would like to believe an equal to you, not channel size or viewer retention wise, nothing like that. As a creator, even with what he's doing, and I'm watching it as well, you are the one looking like an absolute joke. If you want to be taken seriously on any platform, you have to learn how to take criticism. You've got to learn to take a joke. You've got to know what a joke is, which is ironic again for a comedian to not see. But then your hate boner for Keemstar clouds your judgment. I doubt you'll see this. I doubt you'll accept my criticisms. because we've seen what you do with criticisms in the past. You just head over to Instagram and post the exact same stories over and over again about being slandered and how your feels are hurt. You are one of the rare instances where your feelings apparently equate success, because you've latched onto and you are suckling on your lol cow, your piñata, your cash cow. Perhaps not in January, it's pretty dead, I know. For dear life, because you know damn well that while he gets you views, you don't really need him, but you'll still use him anyway, 'cause feels. Which is what it all comes down to. As an observer, that's what I see anyway. But by all means do correct me or just ignore me. I don't really care at this point. My advice to you is quite simple, really. Stop talking about Keemstar. Let him do his thing, you do your thing. Chances are he won't do his thing to go in on you because you keep on baiting him for attention. And it is that. You keep doing it, even when an olive branch is extended, you snap the branch and go, no, this is all about me.